Welcome into Kitchen Talk Pickleball Edition. I'm your host, Caitlin Miller, and this week joining us is Tracy Evans. She's a three-time Olympian and national champion in freestyle skiing, and now is getting involved with her foundation in pickleball, building courts outside of the country. Tracy, I'm so excited to have you on as a guest. Thanks for joining.
Thanks so much, Caitlin. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, I mean, so first off, obviously, major accomplishment to be a three-time Olympian and in freestyle skiing, which when I watch the Olympics, I'm like, oh my goodness, like how, I mean, you must be absolutely fearless, but how did you even get involved in freestyle skiing and start that whole Olympic journey?
Yeah, well, I come from a very avid skiing family in Western New York. Go Bills.
Yes.
But always got to plug them. My brother was also a freestyle aerialist. So freestyle skiing's the umbrella, and you've got aerials and moguls underneath it. And I was an aerialist, as my brother was. So he was in the sport growing up, and I really fought tooth and nail not to do it because I didn't have any desire to do it. I actually showed horses growing up, and that was my love. But I did have to end up kind of crawling back to my dad when I was down at Florida State University. So much skiing down there. Not. But yeah, I just was, I kind of was like not involved in a sport down at Florida State that I just had been used to being very athletic and involved in sports. So I decided to ask my dad if I could go out to Winter Park, Colorado, where my brother was training, to see if I could. I always thought I'd be a mogul skier. Never thought I'd be an aerialist. It looked way too crazy for me. Yeah. And if that didn't work out, then I was looking to transfer to a university that had equestrian riding. So anyway, long story short, I took a semester off, went out. Aerials ended up being my bread and butter. I did do gymnastics growing up some as well. And I got into the sport super late. I was 21 when I actually started training.
College. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So moved out to Salt Lake City, Utah, trained with an incredible coach that just caught me up very quickly. And the rest is kind of history, I guess, so to speak.
A quick break to tell you about something that helps me stay on the court longer and recover way faster. It's called Kineon. If you're dealing with knee or back pain like myself, tight shoulders, or just general soreness from playing a lot of pickleball, their recovery tools are a total game changer. The Move Plus Pro uses red light therapy to reduce inflammation, relieve pain, and help your body heal faster. And it's small enough to fit in your pickleball bag. Kineon also has a trigger point therapy tool that's designed to relieve muscle tension, break up those tight spots, and improve mobility with targeted pressure. To save 10% on these life-changing products, use code Caitlin or scan the QR code on the screen right in front of you. From pain to possible, get back to doing what you love both on and off the court. Now back to the show. Obviously, I mean, I'm sure just through the years of rigorous training, being around the best athletes, the best coaches in the entire world, what are some values that you've learned through those years that you've now incorporated? I guess, well, now Tracy has her own foundation called Kids Play International, which is amazing. It brings kind of, I feel like, less known sports to people to really just enable them to embody the values that you do learn from sports. And now she's incorporating pickleball into it. But I mean, what were some of those things that you did learn in those earlier years?
I always look at it as really the Olympic values of excellence, friendship, and respect. I think those are such, they transform, they apply to anybody in life. You don't have to be an Olympic athlete to know that excellence stands for always doing your best, whether somebody's there watching you, and especially when nobody's watching you. So are you still holding yourself accountable to those high level of standards of training, of doing the things that you know are the right things to be doing, whether everyone's watching or no one's watching? I think that excellence in general is just a value that I really try to hold myself to. Friendship is being, tolerant of and respectful to everybody's thoughts and ideas, and understanding where everybody comes from. When you're traveling around the world for 15 years, you get to meet so many incredible people. You get to be exposed to so many incredible cultures. And it really does just allow you to sit and listen and learn from other people how they live, what their thoughts and values are. And whether you agree with them or not is not even a point. It's just to sit and listen and to be able to learn. And then respect is, respecting yourself, respecting others, respecting the rules of sport, respecting the rules in life. Again, those values transcend anybody in their lives. And I think the other aspect that I really look at as a work ethic for myself, and I try to, share with others, is to be successful in anything you do. It's about coming to the table prepared. It's about then practicing whatever that is, speaking, your sport, interviewing, whatever it is, practicing it, and then you perform it. You have to go out and actually do it. And then you actually reflect on, what did I do well? What can I improve on? And then go back and recircle back and then prepare differently. And then again, so to me, those values and that type of preparation cycle is something that I think I really learned and feel like I've also transferred. I hope I've transferred through my foundation to a lot of different kids across the world in how we actually run our Sport for Development program.
Let's take a quick moment to share with you my go-to gear on the pickleball court. Centerline Athletics makes player-focused apparel built for the court. Their fabrics are SPF protected, quick cooling, and super breathable with that airlight feel. The Grip Tech technology is clutch. You can wipe away that sweat in the middle of a match and stay locked in. Every detail is designed and tested by players for maximum performance. So go grab your Centerline Athletics apparel and use code Miller for 20% off everything. All right, now let's get back to it.
That's amazing. And you can just tell, just you telling your story, like how passionate you are about that, and then giving those kids too the opportunity to learn those values that if you didn't have your foundation, they might not ever learn. So, yeah. And kind of segueing into that, how did you come up with this idea of your foundation, and how much has it really grown and taken off since? I mean, now you're incorporating pickleball, which I love hearing, but give us a little info as to how that got started.
Yeah. Goodness, I never expected to start a foundation. It really found me. I blame it on my mom, as I always joke around and say, she's a nurse. She really inspired me in the work that she did globally in public health and the medical field. And she just said, when I retired, go on a volunteer trip. You love culture. You love to travel. You can just throw a ball with a kid and anywhere in the world and put a smile on their face. So I did. I went on a volunteer trip to Malawi, Africa. The group just so happened to want to do a mini sports camp. So I'm thinking, yay, I can contribute to that. But, we were there, and the first day we, of course, played soccer with the kids, thinking Africa, soccer, like this is going to be, we're going to kick this off really, really well. And it really was a disaster. It was so, I guess, eye-opening to me. In hindsight, it shouldn't have been, but it was. The girls and boys did not know how to interact with one another. And they don't know how. They grow up in developing countries. They grow up with very segregated rules and roles and responsibilities. So girls and boys just really don't have opportunities to interact and build those positive relationships together. And so the girls didn't want to play with the boys. I say they looked like orange cones as the boys just played around them, aggressively too. But the best part was that the next day we pulled out baseball. They didn't know what to do with a glove. They didn't know what to do with a bat. Again, as a sport person, that levels the playing field immediately.
Yes.
Because there are no preconceived idea of who should be stronger, better, faster, if girls should even be playing at all. So that was just amazing for me to witness the shift of now they were laughing together. They were helping each other, hold the bat, they had the glove on the wrong hand, whatever the case may be. But sports so organically helps to break down those harmful gender, social, cultural barriers between boys and girls and genders so easily. So yes, I mean, obviously the power sport has, been a part of my life, but I don't think I really truly understood the magnitude that it can have on breaking down those barriers until I went on this trip and really just saw the difference, the immediate difference when you introduce something that kids are not familiar with, and how they just begin to learn side by side. And it allows boys to see the capabilities and contributions of a girl very quickly and very differently. And Thomas was a little boy I connected with when I was in Malawi, and he was the one that came up to me at the end of the program and said to me, I see now that girls can play. And that was 2 weeks where a little 10-year-old boy shifted the way that he thought about a girl. And I mean, how for me, that was just such a cool moment. And honestly, the best thing about being an Olympian has been being able to share what sport and the power of sport and how you can leverage sport to really build those soft skills, those personal development skills, coupled with education and those hard skills. But together that makes that person a full, I think highly, much more functional person in life long term. And what we coin as champions in life. So, the trip was just absolutely, a game changer for me. And I came back, surrounded myself with people that know a lot more than I do about nonprofit. I have a whole nother for-profit business that I've been running. So wasn't looking for something to do, but I always say, I don't know, it picked me. This has just been my journey. And I have just been thrilled to be able to hopefully change the lives of kids in Rwanda and Cambodia, where our 2 program sites are. And hopefully, like I said, be able to give them the opportunity, because that is what these kids in these countries, developing countries, don't have. They don't have the opportunity. They don't have the resources. They don't have boys and girls clubs, YMCAs, after school programs, all of those. So we have to be able to go over and create those opportunities and that education around how they can, you have to still work hard. It doesn't matter where you come from. You still have to work hard and want it in order to go as far as you can in life and achieve what you want in life. But you have to set goals and you have to work hard toward them.
Yeah, and I commend you too for noticing that soccer was not working, because I feel like in most cases it'd be like, all right, let's just figure this out and separate the guys and the girls, right, because that's naturally what you would do. But instead it's like, oh no, let's actually try to introduce a sport that no one knows and see how they react to that. So that's just a very unique perspective, and it's so nice to see that was a success. That's crazy.
Yeah. I think, for myself, it's always about, you can't have equality, in my opinion, unless you have everybody contributing. And, that's where you've got to, yes, you can absolutely empower girls, but if you don't educate boys right alongside of them, especially in developing countries, you're actually doing a disservice to the girls. Because you've got to be able to lift an entire community, educate a community in order for both boys and girls, men and women, in their relationships moving forward to both be able to lift that country up, lift your community up, work together. We all know this. You achieve more together than you do by yourself. You go further in life when you have the support of others. And I know these seem like probably really simple concepts to us here. Over in a rural developing country where the majority of people are illiterate, you're talking about intergenerational trauma in 2 genocide impacted countries where we work, where families are just, they're not educated. They don't know. They're passing down to their kids what they knew and how they were parented. So you can't, it's not their fault, but it is an opportunity, as I see it, and a really great challenge to be able to go educate not just the kids but their families and communities about the importance of equality, education, mental health. Those things really can help change a country. So, and everyone has to do their part. So,
yeah, no, definitely. I love hearing that, and it's amazing all the work that you're doing. And I know you mentioned some sports like baseball. You've brought lacrosse. Now you're raising money to bring pickleball to Rwanda and Cambodia. So exciting news. Congrats. How did you come up with bringing pickleball over there?
Yeah. So, gosh, it's always been in the back of my head. Like, we wanted to introduce a paddle or a court sport. And I just, pickleball is, and tennis is amazing. They're all really great. But I guess my personal experience getting into pickleball late in life, honestly, my parents introduced my husband and I back in Chautauqua, New York. And it was fun. It was social. It was something that, we could pick up fairly quickly. And we were playing with people my parents' age, 30 years older, and just having a blast and connecting. And I don't know, there's something special about pickleball in obviously health factor, but like in social, being able to socialize, being able to do that, being able to pick it up on whatever competitive level you want to be or not competitive level, and still just have a blast of a time. And so that's always been in the back of my head. And I just feel like if you can even lay down just concrete and get a net and some paddles and a ball, the kids just, I just feel like it's a sport that can teach a lot of different things also than what our flag football, our lacrosse, the other field sports are teaching. So I really wanted to diversify a little bit in our less familiar sport curriculum and introduce pickleball. And just in June when I was there, Rwanda actually has a pickleball federation. And so I talked with them, and I just was like, we're doing this. We're going to make this happen this year.
I love that.
So like next June when we go, we're going to make this happen. So,
and that, just speaking to what you're saying, even like locally, like with Metro Nashville schools, right? That's what we were trying to advise the local school districts. Like you can play in your gym class, you could play out in the parking lot. And you can, so many of these companies too are great about donating paddles to children and organizations and things like that. Or you can find very inexpensive paddles online. And that's what the great thing is. It's free to play. Then the kids can say, oh my gosh, let's go to the park. Let's do something healthy after school, and keeping them out of trouble. And likewise in other countries too. These kids don't need to have a lot of money. They just need a paddle and some concrete to go play on. And so I think that's amazing, and something they'll hopefully be able to continue on after your program and play weekly or monthly and things like that.
Yeah. And, we've got wonderful relationships with the Rwandan and Cambodian Olympic committees there, and in both countries that we work with. So like, I do feel like, kind of on the outskirts of it, they're always looking, we're a little bit of, obviously the purpose of our program is not to create elite athletes, but, we are always looking for and able to source, like if there is somebody that actually really picks it up really quickly and well, why wouldn't you want to give them that opportunity to also be able to go train? And perhaps, who knows, what can happen. But that's what's so great about sport. Like again, we could have a slab of concrete, 2 chairs, and a string across as a net if we had to, like you said.
Yes.
And some paddles and a ball, and, and start it that way. So, there's a lot of ways, like you said, it does not have to be crazy expensive, and there's just, I don't know, from a recreational level, obviously, to just being able to learn through through pickleball. And I just think, I don't know, I'm just excited to have a new sport that is a court sport, a paddle sport that we can introduce to the kids, and I know the kids are gonna go wild over it.
Oh, they're gonna love it. I've even seen kids like, it's just, and it's fun like seeing them all try a new sport for the first time, because that is really what happened when I was volunteering at this school, and they're all laughing, you know, even if they whiff the ball. It's just, it's so cute, it's so fun, and you can kind of just have them get a feel for it right up at the kitchen. They're all close together, they're all bonding. It's not like a big field where they're running around, and I think you're gonna have so much success with it.
I do too. I'm excited. I'm excited about it, and I know the country is excited about it, to be honest. So yeah, and again, we're going to start it off in Rwanda, and then we are looking to expand it to Cambodia as well. So yeah.
That's amazing. So if someone is listening that would like to make a donation or contribute to this, especially for pickleball, I know your goal one day is to actually build courts out there, but how can they support you with this?
Yeah, so we actually I'm here in Park City, Utah, and we're actually going to do our first pickleball VIP social event on October 12th. But this is going to be a continuous of a number of, you know, small social fundraising events to raise the money to build these pickleball courts. Honestly, in Rwanda, to build probably 3 to 4 courts is only $25,000. It's not that expensive. But they can go to kidsplayinternational.org and click the donate button. You'll see VIPs, you know, pickleball social, or you can donate however you would like, and note that it's going to go toward building pickleball courts. That's probably the easiest way to do it, is go to our website and click on the donate button and make a donation of any size. Believe me, over in developing countries, a little bit of money goes a lot longer and a lot further than, you know, here. So every dollar counts. And so, yeah, that's one way to help us reach our goal of $25,000 to start off with 3 pickleball courts.
Yeah, no, I'm sure people would be happy to support that.
That'd be great.
So that's awesome. And I know you said this whole foundation, and just, you know, you're expanding sports, you're just adding a bunch to really help these people. I mean, what impact or has that had on your life? I know you said it kind of fell into your lap. It wasn't something you had planned on doing, but I'm sure looking back in all the years spent, you know, in Rwanda and Cambodia and meeting new kids and teachers every time you go back, what has that been like for you?
Yeah, gosh, it'll be 15 years next year that we've been in Rwanda. Can't believe it. So, I would say, honestly, the biggest reward is seeing the changed lives of the kids. You know, you're talking about kids that really, like I said, have, you know, their expectations and goals in life are to be a farmer or maybe a school teacher, or just honestly to get married and have kids. What we have seen is 90% of our kids in our program have gone on to higher education. They have been able to, and it's not a bad thing to get out of the village. We expose them. We've got 3 programs. Let's Play Fair, which is our mixed gender program. All Girls United, which gives our girls a little bit more time for us to focus a little bit on more of those women topics of sexual reproductive health, family planning, menstrual hygiene management. And then we have a Play Fair Community Day that allows our kids in our program every Sunday to share what that lesson was that they learned in our Let's Play Fair program during the week with kids in the community. So their kids enter our program at age 7. They don't graduate till 18. So there's this long process of them really being able to shift the way they think, act, and believe, and think about what their goals are in life. Both on, like I said, education. We cover all their education costs. So staying in school is just so important. But building those personal development skills through our program, when you couple them together, when they graduate out, we also have another layer of being able to come back and be a coach for us, or a junior coach. And then we help them save money and figure out, how do you go on to university? How do you go to a trade school? How can you continue to take what you've learned and use throughout your life, and to, again, achieve more in your life and understand how to set those goals and slowly meet them. So to me, it's just being able to see the number of youth now that have graduated out and have gone on to, hospitality jobs, being a banker, being an attorney, being a pilot, being an accountant. I mean, things that they would never, ever have dreamt about, thought that they could even dream big about. And being able to do that for kids, I have always said I would rather change fewer lives than touch many. And that, to me, being able to change a life, because they then come back and contribute to changing their family's life. And, I've even had a few of our graduates come over to the U.S. I've been very fortunate to be able to sit on a couple of university boards where I've been able to get them into, MBAs and things like that. So just the thing is that all I'm doing is giving them the opportunity. That is it. It is up to them to walk through that door and make it happen. And they do. And I feel like that is because their values now that they've learned of what they're able to achieve, that's what they're learning through the program. And again, it is all about, giving people opportunity, anybody from anywhere, but you've got to do the work. You've got to be the one to take the initiative and know that, the plan you set is never the one that you end up taking. And you have to understand obstacles. I think Kobe Bryant said obstacles are opportunities, and they are. Yeah, totally. All it is another way to figure out how to reach your goal. And that's, I think, those are life lessons clearly that we all know, but you have to take them on and know how to apply them and practice them. And you're not going to do it the first time. We all know that you learn more from your failures than you do your successes. And that's, to me, the best thing is just all I'm doing with Kids Play is giving kids opportunity. I see, and that's what I've really seen through education, through kids that have wanted to commit suicide and have come back through our mental health program that we have, and really understand and educate around, destigmatizing mental health. And it is about, at the end of the day, equity. It's about everyone being able to contribute and having that opportunity. So, yeah, it really has been, a journey for me, and I can tell you I'm inspired by these kids and my staff. I may be the visionary and the passion behind it, but I can tell you the people on the ground are the ones that are making it all happen, and they're the ones that deserve way more, acknowledgement around it than I do.
Well, what a great just life impact and mission that you have and have been able to do for now so many years. I mean, that's just to go to bed at night knowing, every day that you've impacted someone and just giving them the opportunity. Of course, you said they have to push through, they have to stick with it, but those kids would have never been given the opportunity otherwise. And so that's just, something that must be so, so rewarding for you. And it's just nice to look back that your Olympic career and what you did in sports is really kind of what inspired that, and all those values that you've learned from there. So I love how that's come full circle and actually has come to help so many more people because of that.
Yeah. And, if there's one thing, I think, we do volunteer trips. And I think the reason that I continue to keep that aspect in our organization is because it is, it's a way for people to come over and actually experience it. And I think that's just always, like I said, that's what inspired me. And so I so enjoy leading those with people because I love being able to watch how it impacts them. Everyone honestly goes in going, I'm going to I can't wait to inspire the kids. They all leave. I don't know one person that hasn't left and gone, wow, they inspired me. I've changed because of them. I don't know if I changed them, but they changed me. And I mean, that's and you can't, I always say if there's anyone like, oh, I'm not sure I want to go to Rwanda or Cambodia, it sounds dangerous. I'm like, well, don't talk to me. I've been there a million times. Of course, talk to another volunteer that felt the exact same way you did, and just, hear how that trip changed their life, and kids that have come on the trip. Just, I mean, it's very grounding, to say the least.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Gosh,
hopefully we can get you there.
Everyone needs to go check out Kids Play International. Like, it's such a great organization, and even just an easy thing you can do is support their cause to build pickleball courts. I could talk to you, Tracy, about this all day long, but seriously, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, and more importantly, thank you for everything that you're doing to change lives. It's been such a pleasure hearing your story, and thanks for joining us, and we'll stay tuned to see who will join us in the kitchen next time.